It's day 13 and we took a bus up to Amber Fort, or locally pronounced Amma Fort. A breathtaking sight perched on the hillside overlooking a serene lake. As the bus pulled into the parking lot, the fort and palace came into view, stretching majestically across the panorama. Stepping off the bus, we encountered snake charmers with hooded cobras, adding a distinctly local flavour to the experience. From there, we switched to Mahindra Jeeps, as the narrow, winding roads leading up to the fort are inaccessible to larger vehicles. The sheer number of Jeeps bustling around was a sight in itself. Elephant rides to the fort are still available, though much less common than before. This reflects the efforts to prioritise the elephant's welfare, a welcome change following past issues of mistreatment and even tourist injuries caused by distressed animals. Amber Fort sits on the lower slopes and once served as the king's residence, with the higher fortifications providing additional protection. A tunnel connects the palace to the upper fort, serving as a potential escape route for the king. We explored about 100 metres of the tunnel, the portion open to visitors. While wandering through the fort, we noticed several couples having their wedding photos taken, and ornate details of their outfits added a festive touch to the historic surroundings.
So the castle was built, it was a fortified palace. Palace means the royal family lived here. It used to be a kingdom. The capital, it's like, any capital of in the world. Delhi was a capital. So was Amer. So Amer needed a fort and castle. The royal family lived here. So the first and second courtyard, they were for common purposes. This one, public tribunal. So the king would hear grievances of the people. He would hear their petition and he would resolve their issues. So that's a public tribunal of that time. So the common people were allowed up to this point. There's another fortress overlooking this one. This is Jaipur Fort, a military fortress. In case of invasion, the royal family could escape there. So that's why there's a tunnel going up there. The tunnel, and then there's a path going up to the second, the top to the fort on the top of the hill. It was just to provide safe passage to the royal family in case of any attack. The second reason I had this question why they built it, in Rajasthan in India they built castles, royal families, like Buckingham Palace. There are a lot of castles across Europe. So royal family built a castle, but here's a fortified palace. The first courtyard, for example, was used for military parades. You see those buildings at the end of this courtyard. On the first floor, those were for elephants. Those were for elephants. And on the first floor, soldiers used to live. And in the first courtyard, the soldiers would assemble, and it was only used for military parade. Here, we have beautiful example of Indo-Muslim architecture. I'm going there so that you don't need to stand in the sun. This one is a beautiful example of mix of fusion of Indo-Islamic. What is Indo-Islamic? It's a mix of both worlds, Muslim and Hindu architecture. So you see on top of these columns, elephant head, the symbol of good luck. So that's elephant head. So it's a symbol of good luck. They have used marble and red sandstone. Again, at the middle of the hall, if you look up the ceiling, we have the ceiling is in form of petals of lotus flower. So they have used again the fusion of the marriage of two stones, white marble and red sandstone. The most beautiful part, striking part, what we call the postcard picture. The postcard picture of this palace is the entrance. The entrance, the upper story can be accessed either by a ramp or by steps. There's a stair going up to the upper level. You see this guy over there, so you can go up there as well. On the both sides you get beautiful view. On the one side you will get a beautiful view over the village of Amer, through which we drove. And on the other side you see bird's eye view on the lake where we stopped with our bus. This gate is an example of fresco secco, the painting fresco secco. When the plaster was wet, it is a lime plaster. So they would start painting over it. So the process of carbonization takes place. They use only vegetable dye. It is 300 years old painting here. Fresco. It is not fresco. Vegetable dye and mineral dye. So it would be very hard, but vegetable dye, mineral dye, you need to, they are not consistent, or what you call, they lack, this thickness, they do not stick, so they can spread. So they use a certain glue coming from gum tree or different. So that's how difficult it was to get these colors from different vegetables, from different minerals. So when the plaster was still wet, they would paint, and they would paint beautifully. And when plaster would dry, the carbonization process would happen because it's lime, and that painting would become permanent part of plaster. It will only go away with the plaster. You cannot sketch it out. You cannot just with your nails and with your. So that's why it is still intact even after 200 years. So that's after Ganesh fall, it gives you access to the private apartments of the palace. So what I'm going to do, you have free time here, take pictures, go around here. When we go up, you see over the entrance, the people are sitting on the steps. We'll go up the steps. It's kind of, what we call barbican, because even if there are no gates, you don't you don't get to see what is happening inside. So you just go, and it is always, you have to turn around in order to get access to the private apartments to keep privacy intact. You don't need to close your gates. It doesn't need gates because it's kind of barbican. So the both entrances are placed at odd angles. So it's not direct access. So what you see as if it is blocked because they placed a wall over there. But you need to turn right and then left. Then it takes you to the beautiful garden, sunken garden. You turn left and you can't miss. That is the mirror palace, the palace of mirrors. 100,000 mirrors were used to decorate that. That's where we meet over there. So you have your free time, 10-15 minutes to take pictures and get selfies with your Brazilian life.
पंकज साहब आए थे ना।
पंकज साहब उधर है।
पंकज साहब तो नर आए थे, उनसे पहले आए पंकज साहब। पंकज साहब
On our way back from the fort, we stopped by a jewellery and gem factory. The entrance was uniquely decorated with stones deemed unfit for sale, creating a surprisingly beautiful display. Although we didn't expect to purchase anything, the prices were less than a third of what you would pay in Australia. Most people on the tour, including us, ended up purchasing something. Back at the hotel, we set out in search of a local ATM and stumbled across a wine and beer shop along the way. With hotel prices of about $8 or $9 per beer, we were thrilled to find the beer shop offering them for 80 cents. Unfortunately, our travel credit card didn't work there, leaving us short in cash. The shop owner kindly offered to take me to the nearest ATM on his scooter, which was an experience in itself. After stocking up on drinks and having a drink with the locals, we headed back to the hotel. In the afternoon, after exploring Amber Fort, we took a tuk-tuk ride to the local mall. A lively and slightly chaotic experience. The mall itself was modest in size, especially compared to the sprawling Vegas Mall in Delhi. While there, I got a quick haircut and we enjoyed a simple lunch before heading back to the hotel.